Dr. Scott Alexander in Phoenix, Arizona. Without question, one of the best hair transplant surgeons in the world. You yet again reside on the Best Hair Transplant in the World article 2023 edition on ApetoGentleman. Um, I have worked with you in association for nearly a decade, I think, and liaised with uh, thousands of patients in that time. And what is remarkable about what they have commonly referred back to me is that you have such incredible ethics, standards, and care, regardless of your ability to perform incredible hair transplant surgery. The care and education and attention to detail that you provide is second to none. And patients realize that after the fact, when they're looking around at different surgeries and where to go. As we know, they always shop around on price, but little do they realize they've got one of the categorically best hair transplant doctors in the world performing surgery on them in you. And I'd just like to commend you yet again. You've been on the Best Hair Transplant Surgeon in the World article on ApetoGentleman since it started, for good reason, at the top, despite the fact it's alphabetical, but you would reside at the top of any best hair transplant surgeon list with anybody that is researching this field, because you are consistently providing such incredible work and incredible care. And I just want to commend you, Dr. Alexander, for the work that you do.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, in this business, it's really interesting because the amount of people out there are really wanting to do great hair
Mhm.
transplants is few. Unfortunately, there's not that many doctors out there really willing to put the time and effort to do a high quality transplant. And that's the reason I came into this business, is because the technology and the ability to do good work was there. And now it's up to the person doing it. And I really want to try to make sure that each one of my transplants is the best that anybody could get anywhere.
Doing a really, really good hair transplant is very, very hard work. And as we know, a lot of clinics out there now are employing traveling techs. The surgeon isn't even in the room, and they aren't even performing good quality surgery, far from it. And what's difficult to explain to the patient or the prospective patient is that this is not a cookie cutter type of procedure. It may be offered down the road at a half the price, but with that comes half the quality, if not less. So, what is really important and what this article has provided is an educational tool for people to have a third party resource to get informed, educated, and in turn then find very good surgeons, such as yourself, who perform surgery day in, day out, only hair transplant surgery, and have been doing hair transplant surgery for the better part of 2 decades, if not longer, because you have specialized in this craft, and that is evident in the results that you consistently provide. And it's a minefield out there, and I feel sorry for patients. And I'm proud to be able to point patients in a safer direction to doctors like yourself.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I mean, it is so important out there for people to research, but it's tough because they're reading stuff on the internet that they believe that's put out by their marketing people, and
Yeah.
it is not true at all. So getting the truth out there, that's why this article is so important, is because people just do not understand. And they come to me and say how hard it is. And I agree. It's hard to find out who really is doing the best work. You got to look at before and after pictures, but be really, really careful on how you look at them. The other
Mm.
thing is, I like in this area, I'm the only doctor that actually does the consults. Uh, these patients go to an office, they speak to a salesman, they tell them what they want to hear. The doctor has no clue what he's doing. And like you said, they get travelers coming in to do the work. The doctor is totally separated from it. He has no idea what's going on, what the quality of the work is, if it's good or bad. And the patients get what they get. And once that's done, they've lost donor hair. They have now transplants that are in bad locations. It's a mess to fix. So it is so important for
Yeah,
people to get in and get it done right the first time.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, sadly, it's with hindsight, that a lot of patients, especially local patients to you, realize that they should have done their due diligence and they should have done their research. We have countless stories. We've dealt with countless patients who've been to other clinics locally to you and sadly then come to you wishing they'd come to you initially with limitations
Hmm.
presented on them with regards to what they can actually now achieve. So the just referring back to the ApetoGentleman article, as you well know, the amount of people that have been very fortunate to come to you as a result of reading it, not necessarily to have surgery, but to get an accurate consultation with in terms of what their specific requirements are, and it's enabled them to keep their expectations in check because you hit it with a flat bat. You tell them what they need to hear and not what they want to hear,
Exactly.
as opposed to, your local competitors, so to speak. And that's what they are. They're competing with you. And as a result of that, they're cutting their prices. They're telling patients what they want to hear. And sadly, they have to learn the hard way. And I feel for them.
That I do too. I mean, you see some of these people when they come in, they're devastated. But when they get a great hair transplant, you cannot believe how it changes their whole demeanor. I mean, they build confidence. They aren't worried about it anymore. It's a life-changing surgery for these people if done right. That's why it is so important for people to understand that everybody, I mean, don't you agree that everybody comes in thinking that hair transplant's a hair transplant? It's the same no matter where you
Indeed.
go.
Indeed, it's not a
Far
cookie
from that.
cutter type of procedure. It's not a cookie cutter type of procedure, and patients sadly sometimes have to learn, often have to learn that the hard way. But as we know, the ins and outs of this industry, we've both been around a very long time. You don't have to tell me, Dr. Alexander, how thrilled patients are when they've had a great hair transplant. I've spoken to enough of your patients over the last 10 years to know how much it has changed their lives. I'm the first port of call, whether it's good or bad.
Mhm.
And I can honestly say, I'm inundated with patients raving about their results with you. And it's a testimony to you because, as we well know, as well, the amount of referrals that of friends that patients that come to you give their friends to come and see you is a testimony to you as well, because you're inundated with referrals of friends, which is a testimony to your work.
Yeah, it's really funny. For instance, I have a patient that I did from Montana. He goes back to Montana. His friends see the results, but he's going to the salon where he gets his hair cut. They can't believe it because they've never seen this kind of work before. Now the salon's
Mhm.
sending me patients, and now Montana's a hotbed for people coming here for surgery. I mean, it is crazy how it works. But
Montana's a hotbed of guys walking around with full heads of hair, Doc.
it's so funny though because these people have never seen quality work before. And it's like,
Yeah.
why is that? Why is good work so rare out there? But it's unfortunate, but it is.
It is a sad truth. And this is why, yet again, the article, the best hair transplant surgeon in the world article, has become such a powerful piece that has organically now gained so much traction, millions and millions of views every year, which leads people to unbiased third party resources to enable them to get empowered, educated, and realize, whoa, hang on a minute. This isn't just as simple as I thought it was.
Hmm.
There is a level of responsibility on me to do my research, and lo and behold, that it enables them to then scratch the surface at least and realize, I'm not just going to schlep off to Turkey and get this done because I get a free transfer, free hotel, and a free Burger King thrown in. They actually realize I've got to take some responsibility for my actions. And like they would do with a heart transplant, you're not just going to jump off an Instagram advert and go and get your heart, transplanted. You've got to realize this is needed. What is needed here is a specialist in this field who is an artist who is going to look after you short, mid, and long term. Not just get you in, take your credit card, and say thank you very much, and then not answer your emails,
Exactly.
which we are only too familiar with hearing all the stories from patients that come to you locally, especially who've already gone and had surgery because they wanted to get it done cheaper.
Hmm.
So But listen, Doc, I won't take any more of your time. I really appreciate what you do for your patients. You really are a shining light in this industry and have been for a long time. And I can only hope that people watch this video, read the article, find your website, and that they are then essentially protected and going to be guided in a much safer direction.
I really appreciate it. It's been great talking to you.